Regarding coronavirus, at least 10 people in the president's inner circle have tested positive. We are tracking the latest developments and when President Trump could return to the White House. Virtual learning to start the new school year. What's happening today and when Tulsa students could go back into the classrooms for the first time this school year. Tourism is taking a big hit across the country and right here in Tulsa because of the pandemic. What leaders are doing to try to turn that around.
Covering news that matters. Fox 23 News This Morning starts right now.
Good morning, I'm Michelle Lynn. The time now is 4:30. President Trump is waking up in the hospital, but doctors are hopeful he could be released today. We've got an update on how he's feeling and what he's telling the American people coming up. But first, meteorologist Michael Sager is in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center tracking a chilly start this morning, but a nice start to the work week, a nice day ahead.
Yeah, it is going to be a beautiful day. Right now, we've got temperatures mostly running in about 10 minutes.
Our coverage now turns to the coronavirus crisis in Oklahoma and the latest numbers. The state health department announced more than 550 new cases Sunday, bringing Oklahoma's total since March to more than 91,000. We lost one more Oklahoman to the virus, bringing our death toll to 1,052. There have been more than 77,000 recoveries. New details this morning as the president fights coronavirus. Medical experts say he could leave the hospital as early as today. Here is a live look. Actually, we were supposed to take a live look at Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Maryland. That's where the president is and where he's been working. The leading physician there says the president's oxygen levels dropped twice during his illness, but his condition is improving. Fox 23's Amanda Gilbert is live in the studio with new details about a surprise visit to supporters outside the hospital.
Michelle, President Trump took his motorcade outside of the medical center yesterday just for a short trip. You can see here he wore a mask while waving at supporters from inside a vehicle. A statement from the White House does say the medical team cleared this, and President Trump has been working from the hospital. He's tweeted pictures and updates like this. His latest tweet reads, "I really appreciate all of the fans and supporters outside of the hospital. The fact is, they really love our country and are seeing how we are making it greater than ever before." This comes after confusion and concerns over the weekend about conflicting information being released on the president's condition. Trump's leading physician is explaining why this happened. I'm working on that for the next 30 minutes. Covering news that matters, I'm Amanda Gilbert, Fox 23 News.
Senator James Lankford says he tested negative for coronavirus. We told you he met with Utah Senator Mike Lee several times last week, and Lee tested positive Friday. Take a look at his tweet Saturday. Lankford said he tested negative but will continue to quarantine following CDC guidelines. At 4:33 happening today, Tulsa superintendent is expected to give her recommendation to the Tulsa School Board on whether students can return to classrooms. Fox 23's Amanda Harry is live outside TPS headquarters with what parents can expect.
For the first 9 weeks of school, students have been learning strict. All of that at 5. Live in Tulsa, covering news that matters. Amanda Harry, Fox 23 News.
Happening today, high school students in Veneta will switch to distance learning all week. The district says they're dealing with a high number of active COVID-19 cases at the high school. District leaders are doing contact tracing. They're canceling all extracurricular activities this week for both the middle school and the high school. Students in Broken Arrow are learning virtually today. The district is not reporting new cases, but they are doing distance learning from time to time to work out the kinks and make sure everyone is prepared. Anyone who needs a school lunch can pick it up outside your school between noon and 1 today. A local shelter is planning for winter to protect Tulsa's homeless during cold days. We've told you shelters are operating on reduced capacity to try to stop the spread of coronavirus. An emergency shelter is up and running, but with winter coming, the director at John 3:16 says it would be hard to turn people away on freezing days.
We know how dangerous and how contagious COVID is. Death rates for the homeless from COVID are extraordinarily low.
He's meeting with other shelters and city leaders to go over their plans for winter. Police are investigating a crash in North Tulsa that sent a grandfather and 3 young children to the hospital. They tell us the driver of this gray Honda Civic was north on Peoria when he crossed the center line and turned left into oncoming traffic, causing this Mitsubishi to hit the passenger side door. They had to close Peoria near the Gilcrease Expressway for 3 hours Sunday afternoon. Police say a grandfather was the one driving the Honda with 3 kids inside, all under the age of 12. Police were on the scene until 5:30 last night investigating.
It's a pretty major deal anytime kids are involved, and we wanted to make sure that the investigation was thoroughly completed.
Paramedics took the kids to the hospital. Police tell us some of those kids are in critical condition. There was only one person in the Mitsubishi. All lanes of traffic are reopened now. A driver died in a crash on I-44. This happened around 4 Sunday morning near 129th East Avenue. Troopers say the driver crashed into a bridge. The car caught fire and the driver died. Troopers are still working to figure out what caused the driver to crash. We're still working to get that driver's name. A devastating crash took the life of a 13-year-old driver. Troopers were called to Choate Prairie Road around 8 Friday night. It's near Indianola in Pittsburgh County. Investigators say a 13-year-old boy was driving a pickup. He left the road and drove through a barbed wire fence. The truck rolled. He was thrown from the truck and died. Troopers are still investigating. It's been 16 years since the death of a young Tulsa woman. Brittany Phillips was raped and killed inside her Tulsa apartment in 2004. She was 19 years old. Her mother, Maggie Zingman, pushed for DNA testing she thought would lead to her daughter's killer. But in August, police say the DNA found is not tied to the murder. Sunday, Zingman put flowers on her daughter's grave. She continues to hope for new developments that could solve her daughter's murder. Tomorrow, members of the state legislature will hear from community members about police reform. State Representative Regina Goodwin is hosting the interim study. All of the presenters will cover topics related to police reform that might appear in bills next session. Goodwin told us those topics include body cameras, chokehold policies, qualified immunity, and collective bargaining agreements. She says it's a chance to talk about some of the problems our state faces and potential solutions.
We hope to have bipartisan agreement on something significant that we can pass in the legislature as it relates to criminal justice reform, law enforcement reform.
You can view the live stream of that presentation tomorrow at 2. You can find the link at okhouse.gov. At 4:39, a group of Tulsa eye doctors gave free eye exams to those in need. 2020 Eye Care joined in a statewide event this weekend to help people have clear vision and healthy eyes. That event means so much to people like Yolanda Jennings, who needs glasses but lost her insurance during the pandemic.
With the unemployment, what I receive on a monthly basis, I am only paying for barely the minimum per month. So able to get something that I actually need donated, that is a wonderful thing.
2020 Eye Care served almost 30 people at no charge. They hope to help even more people in the future. I walked in this morning and I said to Michael, how does 50 degrees feel so cold? I think the answer is that I'm a wimp, but it feels really chilly. A crisp fall morning, but a gorgeous day shaping up. Meteorologist Michael Sager is in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center. Michael, you tried to make me feel better. You said outlying areas are colder, but I was talking about the walk from the parking lot into the studio here in Tulsa.
Yeah, at least at the airport right now, it is 50 degrees, but you get away from the city and it is much chillier in about 10 minutes.
The time now is 4:41. A lot of people are making the trip to Tulsa. The new report showing big tourism bucks coming into our city.
A shootout at 21st and Garnett at 3:30 in the afternoon.
A shootout in broad daylight. What we know about who was hurt.
It's a little tough coming to the park and not being able to see her experience the typical play that your everyday kid with no disabilities would be able to experience.
How one Tulsa mom is trying to make playgrounds more inclusive. 4:44, in a developing story, despite the pandemic, a new report shows Tulsa's tourism industry is booming, bringing in more than $1 million last year alone. Fox 23's Scott Martin is live in downtown Tulsa with a deeper look into the numbers.
Yeah, Michelle, that new report says $1.7 billion. We're live in downtown Tulsa, covering news that matters. I'm Scott Martin, Fox 23 News.
Cycling enthusiasts were able to safely ride this weekend thanks to the Osage Passage competition. 300 people went to Zinc Ranch and Skiatook for the competition. The executive director of the St. Francis Tulsa Tough Race says it was too risky to host that big event this year, so he put this one together for people who love the sport.
With those kind of rides being gone, you don't really know where you are, and you lose a little bit of motivation not waking up on a weekend knowing there's a race happening.
Riders had to wear face masks during staging, and there were temperature checks at the gate. They are already planning for the next St. Francis Tulsa Tough Race. We are enjoying beautiful weather in Tulsa. The Tulsa Botanic Garden is all decorated for their 5th annual Autumn in the Garden Festival. Over the weekend, they also hosted this outdoor art fair. A local nonprofit that aims to provide children in Sri Lanka with educational supplies is hosting a spooky fundraiser. The CalMat Foundation's You've Been Booed fundraiser is simple. You buy a boo bucket on Facebook Marketplace. They will make the basket, deliver it, then send you a photo of it on the person of your choice's doorstep with a custom note from you.
It's a fun event, something fun to do without having to get together or get in big groups.
According to the CalMat Foundation, kids in Sri Lanka often drop out after 5th grade because they can't afford the supplies to continue their education. So far, the foundation has helped 3,500 children continue their education. At 4:47 now, a Tulsa mom is fighting to bring an inclusive playground to our city because her daughter struggles to find a place to play with her brothers. Lauren George has a 3-year-old daughter with cerebral palsy. She says it's incredibly hard to find a playground that caters to her daughter's needs. So she brought up the idea of an all-inclusive playground to Mayor G.T. Bynum. He says he's all for it.
Parents of disabled children shouldn't have to go on a scavenger hunt around town to find those pieces of equipment.
The next step is finding people or companies who will step up and make this park become a reality. Chilly temperatures out there now, but today will be a great day out on the playground for recess or maybe at the park. Meteorologist Michael Sagers in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center tracking a beautiful fall day.
Yeah, wonderful stuff for us today. It is a chilly start, but it will be a great finish with a lot of sunshine. The wind will pick up just a little bit as we go through the day in about 10 minutes.
Gosh, that is gorgeous weather all week long. The time now is 4:50.
The reason that we run is not about us.
The Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon is in full swing. How that race is being run in all 50 states this year. Firefighters going door to door. The devices they're handing out as we kick off Fire Prevention Week today. At 4:54, man, it's a Monday. Tulsa firefighters honored several of their own.
Ben Arney.
The department held a fallen firefighters memorial ceremony on Sunday. Firefighters both active and retired who died during the past year. Firefighters read the names of nearly 24 people who passed while Honor Guard members saluted them. Tulsa firefighters also spent time this weekend making sure you're protected in case of a fire. Take a look. Saturday afternoon, firefighters knocked on doors near McCullough Park. They installed free smoke detectors. They say it's crucial to have this life-saving device in your home.
Now, once a fire begins, it rapidly escalates and oftentimes can make it impossible for you to get out of the structure. But if you have that alarm that wakes you up or alerts you early, it gives you that precious time to get out of your home.
Today kicks off National Fire Prevention Week. The Tulsa Fire Department has events planned all week to educate you on the best ways to protect your family. Happening today, the Tulsa Historical Society and Museum is honoring frontline heroes. The Tulsa Hall of Fame will hang banners from the museum balcony and will put them on the front lawn near 21st and Peoria to honor essential workers. This includes banking, retail, utility, first responders, and healthcare workers. Frontline heroes will get free family memberships to the museum for a year. 4:56, the president's personal battle with coronavirus. Just how soon doctors are saying he could be released from the hospital. 9 weeks of virtual learning, then what? The recommendation expected today as the Tulsa Public School Board plans for the rest of the year.